Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story dem na the front page and inside the newspaper. So no forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube, who we go bring to una different guests dem wey dey can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program wey we call Colres, as we dey look at different story dem na the front page and inside the newspaper. So no forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube, who we go bring to una different guests dem wey dey can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be
Good morning and welcome to another edition of a program we call Progress right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Also we can discuss issue them where the front page of the newspaper them they carry for the day. And after where we can not read them paper then they the front page, we can as well bring people where they come inside and can help we for analyze the different issues them based on waiting na their own opinion how they see them. So now that's basically they can do. So we'll go straight and begin look at the paper the way we don't get inside the program this morning. We'll start with the Africa 24. Now the first paper where we start for look at now the program this morning. The Africa 24 say not in Gento's compound. Kush a societal menace. The next paper now the Vindicator we say FAO delivers seed and farming tools to 1,500 vegetable producer in 5 districts. Parliament approves Rado Soiree and Kenya Ballet. And you as well get other story them waiting inside this. As you say, High Court slams injunction against Med Saj, Rajak Ba, Abdullahi Bari, and others. The next paper inside the program this morning, now the Night Watch newspaper, we say one party states in the build up. Another darkness in looming on the horizon. SLPP speaker confesses. And then you get the next one at the Success newspaper, we say call for a repeal of the Child Rights Act 2007. Sierra Leone hosts Chinese medical team to strengthen management of cervical cancer. 6 child both help parents with business capital. Next paper, now the Independent Observer, we say Parliament approves Finance Minister and 12 others. You as well get a Sierra Leone host Chinese medical team to strengthen management of cervical cancer. This and other story for you inside this edition of the Independent Observer. The next paper inside the program, now the Nature newspaper, we say mudslide destroyed plantation in Kenema. FAO support 1,500 vegetable producer. Addressing food insecurity and malnutrition in Sierra Leone, Energy Minister appeals for parliamentary support and SLRA to conduct environmental assessment on MRU Road. And climate record, tumble, living Earth in uncharted territory, scientists. And then the next one, now the Open Space newspaper, we say Rado Soiree posed to fulfill President Bio's 2023-2028 agenda. And as Speaker of Parliament appeals 17 days more for APC MPs to lose their seats. And you as well get ACC boss fires up managers and directors. This is another story for inside this edition of the Open Space. The next one are the comment newspaper, where it says duty calls President Bio to soaring as usual. And Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio depart for UN Food System stock taking meeting in Rome and Human Capital Development Summit in Tanzania. Honorable Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo receives heartwarming visit from MSF Belgium. The next paper, na the Salon Times newspaper, Kano University construction stalled. CCSL calls for overcast cloud on elections results to be cleared. And chimpanzee rescue land cruiser stolen. HRCSL and FAHP dialogue with stakeholders on draft national strategy to reduce FGM. The cabinet is finally out of the cabinet. Now what? The next one, now the Premier News, we say African Bar to honor Chief Justice. Speaker warns as opposition MP boycott 3 sittings. University of Sierra Leone partner USL partners with mastership on dental education. Elections results reflects will of voters, ECSL. And the next one at the Calabash newspaper, we say as Bio urge nutrition meals for children by 2030, Sierra Leone and Loas benefit from Germany's 22 million euro support for school meals. APC de facto leadership accused of misleading supporters as it introduces laparoscopic equipment. Stratran hospital is posed to conduct 2 days workshop for surgeons and aspiring medical students. NPPA commends ECSL for successful elections as Kone addresses challenges and misinformation. USL partner with mastership to boost dental education in Sierra Leone. The next paper, now the Voice of Saloon newspaper, we say no law mandates ECSL to publish election results by polling stations. ECSL boss reveal Sierra Leone's passport secures 74th place in global ranking. He as well gets top race. VIP coming on the spotlight. See full details next edition. And you as well get High Court slams injunction against Message, Rajak Bar, Abdullahi Bari and others. And Rukel Bank introduces button and smartphone agency banking for customers. And Sierra Leone stands for to benefit 10 million euros from German government. This is another story for inside this edition of Voice of Saloon. The next one, a Saloon Compass, we say Naxa sabotage Bio's government and land minister in land grabbing scam. The next one, the Aoko newspaper, we say Speaker urge APC to abandon outdated political tools, and Liberia Coast Guard rescue Sierra Leonean licensed travel and trawler from Nigerian pirates, and CCSL concern over post-election impasse. MP urge nominee minister to deliver more for Sierra Leone. Last paper inside the program this morning. Now the Concord Times newspaper, Boycott of Parliament. House Speaker appeals to APC Iraqi MPs. And APC Sheriff orders on remand for possession of small arms. ECSL insists elections results reflected the expressed will of voters. And Russia, Africa joining effort for peace, progress, and successful future. Uganda's parliament recognizes Sierra Leone's human rights defender. Well, now all the paper and this what we get inside the program this morning for Lewi. Kind of what and them good one. But before that, let me just take this short break and bring we get them inside.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Yes. We actually don't look at the front page of the newspaper them, and now we can see waiting we get for we inside the program this morning. Remember, this na colors. Sometimes they colors skin sour. Sometimes they colors skin do rotten and they draw. Sometimes they the colors skin very much delicious. Sometimes they the colors can have enough. It depends on how you preserve them. Now so you go eat her. Is either you eat her or you throw am. So we can see what we get inside the colleges this morning. As we already don't get we guess them, we don't deal with we inside the program. Thanks be to God, and they we just pray that the internet continue for serve we the right way until we done the program. You know, the first person way are they introduced. Now the managing editor for Voice of Salone newspaper. And in him now David Johnson. David, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, we had good morning, Semepie.
All right.
Good morning, the people of Sierra Leone.
And we as well get Oswald Ansels in a freelancer. Well, this is the man we can use in paper and he can use in mouth as well for analyze things them to the best of your ability. Well, it ain't inside the program today. Good morning and welcome to the program. Oswald.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, my son. Colores.
Okay, you know, I love to get the two people in the show. That's why I smile this kind of way. Anyway, so let me see. Let me start with the ball now. I want to start with something where I see where interests me so much. I don't know. I just want this one. I will not go too much on them, but I just small bit some more. They say, this paper. I think that Concord Times. Yes, Concord Times newspaper, I get this one where say Russia, Africa, joining effort for peace, progress, and successful future. Where una hear headline like this, or you know, where think they can out mind them? Russia, Africa, joining hands for peaceful future. I'll start with you, David.
Yeah, to me, the headline sounds interesting. In my own candid opinion, look at say Russia wants right for infiltrate Africa, where the US and others don't already get a firm grip. So and when they look at it this way, because of themselves, you know, say that Russia still they try for let them maintain that super world power.
Mm-hmm.
So then they try for infiltrate, for get rid of African countries, then for let them go support them so that they will reach up there. Mm-hmm. So now that's then they try for do now.
All right. So Oswald, what do you
so
think?
So then they try for make more friends with African countries and then so that.
Also, what do you think of it? You know, short, small headline like this. You know, headline like this. What do you kind of in mind as you hear this kind of thing?
Let me make a quote. Those who do not forget the past are condemned to repeat it. That is a quote by a Spanish-American philosopher, George Santayana. I don't use them dozens of times in my writings. Where you not for you forget what happened yesterday, especially the bad thing that will happen to you as a race, as a continent, as a nation. You go repeat and back, ma. What does that mean for we in Africa? One, they mean slavery for over 300 years. Then for almost 100 years, we don't use, we make sure say about 10 million of we die, whether they drive or can't catch we can go to America. Then with man they can sit down for we. When they don't sit down for we, they exploit we. Then take we gold, we iron ore, we cocoa, all they make and cheap. Then sit down for we, then kill we in the other side of Africa. Colonialism for almost 100 years. Then after that, we move into the
Right, so this exactly what I be talk when we start the program, the internet. The internet sweep Tikifutam, but they try for team up back for come inside the program. But you still watch Colgate on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. So as we wait for like come inside, please I want to encourage you for like and share the program.
Hello, are you good? Yeah, I lost you for a minute.
Yes, you go
Now
out.
the issue is that that is global politics, and in the 1970s there was this when the Cold War was hot between the former Soviet Union, which Russia is now is, and the United States own bloc. So then they compete for influence in the world. Them countries like India, they make the non-aligned movement. So we not mix foreign affairs. We did neutral. Now, what thing that happen now, there's some need for new minerals there, especially in the Congo area. And also there was a time in 2009, there was a ripe demand for iron ore. So then one come back in Africa for get control of the resources there. Well, I mean them, the wait man there. So Russia, where they try to find more influence, they out. So that been China been the showing hey, but now Russia feel to say, well, I need people then for come team up with me. Don't forget there was the Cold War. After the Second World War, when I've been hot war, the Russian bloc with the fight for influence now a place like Africa and most of the developing world. So then can get their own support. I mean some nasty thing and then do any side also America if America they feel to say like where America been there na Ethiopia where Haile Selassie been there, the Russian then go next door, then go give them support. As soon as they make coup in Ethiopia, where they move the American influence, the Russian and Candy. The same thing maybe now. As soon as they say, well, this British sphere of influence, the Americans, and the Russian then go next door to Guinea. So it was a nasty game with them they played. And that game they played, it didn't matter the morality of the regime within the power. They make at that time, they made this, both the American.
Okay. Okay, we still get challenged with them. In terms of in connection, we still get challenged with connection, but still, it make a time best for come inside again.
Yeah. The Americans and the Russians, they made support both of them. When they support the most tyrannical, the most draconian governments in Africa and the third world. That is how come the Americans supported to the hilt Mobutu Sese Seko na Congo. The time we have been ruthless and brutal. Then the Americans were supporting the American-Liberian oligarchy, which was like an apartheid government. for almost 129 years when they governed Liberia. The Americans were supporting them to the hilt. So there was a coup in 1980. And then when that coup took place in Liberia, the Americans got scared that the Liberians were going to shift over to the Russians, and they came in and supported Doe, and they continued supporting the military leader, Samuel Canyon Doe, up to almost to the last minute. Even when Doe they commit genocide against some of the other tribes, even when they ruthlessly mismanaged, Doe, now one of the few African leaders at that time, will go meet Ronald Reagan at the White House. They give honor. So it didn't matter for them. So when Russia, they can now Russia-African relationship, come on, my friend, will either they don't forget the history? It's the same whole thing with they come back again, the sphere of influence.
I really know say this particular issue na your area down there, na your speciality down there, and I go only right from that part there. And let us go inside another issue where you get for do with the election, as to get a lot of things that we carry from this ECSL and other things them. And sorry that we get for jump out of that because we get for money on with the time to the best of our ability. So now, first of all, let's just see again. And let's describe you waiting exactly at the sea. Oh, you don't actually go black. Did you get me? Yes. Welcome. Did you get me? Mr. Oswald, did you get me?
It crack up a bit. Go over your sentence again, please.
Yes, I say I beg for take you out of that particular discussion day because I know say that in your area that one day you get like more than 100% interest on that discussion, the Pan-Africanism and your side and but let me drag you small bit and let me go into the election since Ikai. This is just small part and not too much to get beaucoup thing for do it right now. But what we see from like all of the papers then this ECSL thing in the election. And I say you get me?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Yes,
you mentioned
I don't know.
ECSL.
If I can get you very well, if I can see you very well, I just make it sometimes people know they see you fine. And also hand sales were green and white, right?
No, green and green.
Oh, green and green. Okay. And then you get small badge. What's in another badge in the chest?
Sierra Leone People's Party.
Okay, good. So now I get reason for come up with this. Before this term, we don't talk about this. We're not going into any discussion. Me just tell you small thing on many people them. Oswald answered before this term when they wear another color, but it don't say that color they're not important again. Now it don't come to this other color. So now when they go to the election, I just want to make it very clear. All right, for say that.
in a crackle.
Oh my God. Okay, still, we can go on still. I want to be very clear and let you know exactly the possible we get. Now, Oswald, now be this kind of critical thinker, na Pan-Africanist. But before this term, they support the opposition, but now not deal with them, they support them anymore. Now they support SLPP. Okay, so now let me go into the discussion proper one. I just want to let people understand exactly how we can go with the discussion. Yeah, so I go inside the paper then, and we want to look at the ECSL thing. The first paper where I will project na Voice of Saloon. Voice of Saloon get this headline where they say no law mandates ECSL to publish election results by polling stations. ECSL boss reveals. Then let me look at the next one again where it say again the same ECSL. It say ECSL insists elections results reflected the expressed will of voters. This now according to Mohamed Kone, ECSL. A lot of people can carry this particular thing. Okay, so let's take you to let's start with you, Oswald. ECSL say the vote where people vote. na actually reflect na the result wey them read. Wetin na you take on this, Oswald?
You reference to me colors. I know you left and then go like that. I in 1998.
One score penalty for you.
1998 to 2000, I was the Secretary General of.
Hey God, the line they really disturb us world today. They really disturb us world. You know, I get reason for actually yes, it don't come back. I get reason for talking about the colors, you know, and it's very much important for know the angle where we can get the discussion from, you know. Oswald, did you get me?
Yeah. No, there was a break.
Yes,
I said
know. Yes, continue.
I was the Secretary General of the All Political Parties Youth Association between 1998 and 2000. That's all political parties. You have to belong to a political party to belong to that appeal group. And I was representing SLPP there. I got into APC because I was fascinated by the leadership of former President Anes Bai Kuruma by 2011. It was my decision. I was very proud. I was not asked to join the SLPP. President Kuruma was very, very nice to me. And I repeat this one. The greatest gift when gave me when I joined State House was the freedom to publish what I wanted to publish in the Oswald Francis column. You never wanted to tell me, Oswald, publish this. You know, when they grumble, Oswald, you don't publish something bad. And I mean, they criticize the APC and criticize in ministers, like Paulo Conte, Nyata Kagbo. These are ministers who are criticized in the column. You know, one day grumble. And nobody now want to call me that APC grumble. Say, Oswald, why they can't write this thing, but we, and you do with we. Now, let me answer the question we don't ask about ECSL.
No, wait. Before you go to the ECSL, I get interest. You say you've been there SLPP, but you so much love the way how Anas Bai Kuruma be doing a leadership equality we been get that make you come over to them, right? At the APC team.
Yes.
And then now you don't choose for go back to the SLPP. Why you don't choose now for go back to the SLPP? Because the last time I be get you say because of waiting and do now, waiting this do your brother, waiting that they attack you and other things then.
Well, let's put it this way. Me and a man, we don't study a lot of psychology, a lot of leadership issues. Don't read deeply on those issues. It is not always the party, an institution that matters when it comes from politics. Not the leadership, who that they can tap, then can make the dramatic difference.
Okay.
Then make you to see in the Western regions, people in the one moment you will see Democratic Party they win at the US, next moment the Republican Party they win.
Okay.
It depends on who they present as a leader.
So based on that your background there, let ask you this question. The return when you return back to the SLPP, now because of now your party or now because of the leadership quality where you see? Oh. Very sorry.
Network.
Yeah. We struggle with that.
You ask the question.
Yes, let's ask you the question again.
Now,
the question where I ask you, get me? Did you get me?
Yeah, you said the turn
yes.
go back.
Now because of now your party or now because of the leadership quality where you don't see in Marabu?
Leadership, not the party. But there is this reality we try for obfuscate, we try for wrap under, you know, within the dynamic of the country at this point in time. For a lot of time over the past 5 years, there were some people who claimed to be APC who were threatening genocide on people from the southeast. It was not once, it was not twice. It came on regularly. And when they threatened this genocide, some of them coined the term medicrats. They actually were threatening people. We will come, we will get to una. Then they send audio message them. Una they come out behind una brother, una see what they do, we will come, we will go after una. You know, that it was very fearful. And the APC leader.
So if that's not one of the reason then how comes you say you see leadership quality in Marabio? What are the leadership quality we see in Marabio? Oswald, you there with me? Okay, so I think we get for all and play first because like I with you inside here, David. David, the issue of ECSL, let's go straight to that discussion there. ECSL, you know, this BNTM, of course, you paper carry and say no law, no mandate ECSL for publish, you know, election results by polling station. And as well, they say, you know, the election results reflect the vote of the people. So what now you take on that? As well, I can't to about
I was cut off at the point.
But again, Chancellor,
the APC leaders did not disavow all of these genocidal threats. Some of them for come out with a formal statement. Samora Kamara for speak forcefully against them. I repeat, it was not a one-off thing. It kept on going on and on. And then 2022 August 10, there was that nasty beating to death of 10 uniformed policemen. 10? So the message was...
You said 10?
Yes, about 10 me seen on social media. Now, the message was sort of reinforced. That means there are some people who are capable of unleashing violence on others.
If we want to be honest, if we want to be very much, you know, playing with the conscience, let's ask you this question. Before the August 10 incident, we see this woman we represent SLPP, now the United Kingdom with cutlass, you know. They talk, say, then go, anybody will try, then go do and this, you know. None of the SLPP hierarchy not condemn them. We see, for example, Austin Johnny, they talk about the former, you know, president. Non-SLPP hierarchy not condemn him. We see the first lady go na Kailan and say nobody, no opposition no get right for get office na ya. After that, we see the kind of burning where them begin beat them, burn their office them. Nobody not come. And why you feel say if it happen to the APC, not if it happen to the SLPP? Very sorry, it's like say the discussion today from Oswald a very, very, you know, I don't know, the internet not give me the kind of free will for the way able to get the proper discussion.
You were there's a problem. It keep on breaking up.
Yes, the internet actually not they give you the opportunity for the we get this free flow. You they get me?
Yeah, I don't get you now.
Okay.
You making
so
a chronicle.
Basically, you they say a lot of words, them audio messages, them and other things, and they come from the APC side, according to you, where the hierarchy of the APC not able to condemn them, not Samoa, not anybody. So I try for bring the same thing because we see it happen during the campaign. You see before the campaign, before the August 10, a lot of words, them, a lot of inciting words, them. A lot of tribal hate speech to come out again from the southeast, but nobody in the SLPP, but nobody in the SLPP not come out and condemn, and not even the president. Why you want Samura for condemn and then Marabio not condemn?
Well, you got a point there. Both of the political leaders of the two parties then, they mean get the responsibility for confront this issue, the nipper in the board. So I will not defend the SLPP in that regard. They should have, because some of what you mentioned, Mr. social media. I just talk, say, from me on side, as somebody from Bond District, a southeasterner, it was fearful enough, given the experience of the Civil War 1991, to 2002 was concentrated entirely in the southeast. Maybe about 80% in the southeast. Just can't be done in the
You get a
northwest
point
part.
as well. So in a case like this,
Yeah.
instead of you resign from APC
Yeah.
for go SLPP, where they as well the committee, same kind of thing, why you not just sit on middle?
No, that is not my own style. I don't sit on the fence.
Yeah, but
Never.
the reason why you
When the
left that day
rebel,
for,
what?
now the same reason they happen yonder, the same thing they happen yonder.
No, it's not.
We're very, very sorry. We're not able to go any sites. The internet actually, they really give it problem. We want to get this flow discussion, but the internet is actually all we serious one. So we're very sorry about that. Lord, we forgive yourself for this one because of the internet, now natural or due to the problem we get at the country. David, please, let's just continue. I mean, they ask you about this thing about ECSL. Let's just continue. The first World Cup we go still done that and then come to the ECSL. Yeah.
Yeah. The ECSL then standpoint and then statement, then back them up with the law. The law, according to the ECSL boss, not give them the rights or the permissions for let them publish elections results by polling stations. Although other quarters, different quarters, they call for ECSL for publish the disaggregated data of results for the sake of clarity and for verify waiting the opposition they claim say the election not free and fair. But let us look at this. At this particular point in time, we not expect ECSL. What do we expect from ECSL? We expect them for let them call us, let them try to engage the APC, because before then they pronounced the result, the APC was not there. APC representative was not there. So, and that make the APC was has been dissatisfied with the result where they announced the outcome of the result. And APC still stand on their legs, say they're not going to challenge the result, the court, because they not get trust in the judiciary anymore. So waiting are they expect from ECSL? ECSL, not them, not the referee. So I they expect them for let them not make any statements where they continue for ignite conflict in the minds of the opposition, because the oppositions are still not satisfied with the result. So for court law or this, for the sake of clarity, because if the process then be done in a transparent way, wherein the tabulations of results was done in a transparent manner, I feel say all in concerns there where they come up, before they come up. So for the sake of clarity, and office at times we get to use common sense for address certain issues, because this particular thing, if APC don't decide now, say they're not the party, and that therefore tells on with democracy in this country. And if APC continue say they're not going to participate, we see the effect with that they create in terms of with democracy. So what here are they say, are they encourage and called on ECSL for continue for exercise that kind of maturity in the way how then they disseminate certain information, we're not going to ignite conflicts in this country. I'm not getting you. The network.
Yeah, sorry, not on the network at all, I mean. You get me?
Okay. Yeah, they get
yes,
you.
Since you don't connect with direct to Parliament, let me watch some of the things that way Parliament they say after the Speaker in an announcement. He said boycott of Parliament, how Speaker appeals to APC hierarchy MPs. So basically, they try for call on it. For let them come. They said the Speaker urged APC to abandon outdated political tools. That is to say, the outdated political tools now, the walkout of Parliament, boycott of Parliament. He said that and then outdated tool landed. And again, it further go before and talk say, because right now, according to them, according to the law, they get 17 more days. First of all, I'll take this before we go to the details. 17 more days for the APC MP. If not, then go lost in seat. What do you make up of this?
actually, if you look at the law make it very clear for any member of parliament elect we absent for a long period of time for let the law vacate his seat immediately. The law make provisions for that. And a day now the standing order of parliament. So waiting me like how the speaker don't begin using wisdom or appeal to the APC, let that particular thing continue for appeal to the APC, because if they use that particular sections of the law, it creates some kind of problem in this country. It creates some kind of civil unrest. So like how the speaker they using wisdom but continue for appeal to them. And I also understand say there is a dialogue way ongoing between the SLPP and the APC. So with the open pray for that dialogue, they go all water at an agreed point for let them resolve these disputes. But if the law at this particular time, they tell you, my brother, in order for good for the peace and tranquility of this country.
And the speaker go further and say this not even good for the opposition, because it is going to make them wipe them party out of the race, because they want to extinguish, that is, it whip them, it pull them from the race, you know, and then, you know, it's not as well good for the country generally, you know. So, you know, waiting again this will get for me. What do you think of this particular thing? You know, the action of the APC right now.
But actually, what made the speaker they come out so strongly, because initially in the discussion that we had, I be say the courts, naina the only arbiter where the urge the ECSL for release whatever then gets na den decks. So like where APC be get then demand and concerns there, I be expect say APC for don't go courts. When they go courts, then they state all the concerns, then the courts now then gets the authority, and then gets the power for other ECSL for release. So apart from the courts, nobody no get power for other ECSL, because the particular thing where the oppositions and civil society organizations they call for release of police stations result, it not fall within the mandate, not in the law. So if APC for the challenge the result in court, I believe say they lay them concerns and they lay some of them things there. I believe say the courts, because this is not a test case for the courts, for know if the court is credible or not. Whatever experience where the APC we don't get from the courts in the past, but this is a particular time because the evidence is very clear. The evidence is clear about how the elections are full of irregularities. So this is a clear case for the APC. So what will be the expect? We expect the APC for challenge this case in court. Then the courts, I believe, say when the courts don't look at all the evidences, then they will make the appropriate decisions.
So quickly, they say they're not going to court because they not trust the courts. The word now, they're not trustworthy, you know, and so they're not saying any reason for going there. In fact, the courts will not legitimize, you know, Marabio even before the results come out plainly and clearly, because the Chief Justice, when I know the boss for the court, don't swear in Marabio. So if he don't swear in, how can he go again against the own decision for swearing the president?
Yeah, my brother, let us look at this way. The Public Election Act also make it very clear. After the pronouncement of results, within 7 days, whosoever is aggrieved will file a petition at the Supreme Court. So, for the sake of peace, or for let them clear them concerns the way APC they get, I believe say therefore don't use the legal process.
So, but they say
the legal process will look better.
Court, for example, 2018, they go to court, not until after 3 years before they handle the case. At the end of the day, not to the case out of court. So, with all of them staying record, why should we? That's not the question when they ask.
Yeah, that's not the question. I believe so. Say based on past experience, based on bad experience, we then get on the judiciary, make them still take. But these decisions, let me look at if these decisions they take them where they are heading to. We then look at them back this way. this particular decision, yes, they right for take this particular decision. But let me look whether this decision will make the request on all the concerns them be met. No, because the opposition, the NEC don't go ahead and tell you say the law no mandates them for do that. And APC say themselves that they go court. So where are we now? Where are we? So the only way how we go try to amend these issues is about peaceful dialogue. And that's missing. Because the APC, based on past experience, they not get trust in the judiciary. Then the Electoral Commission don't say they're not the release. They don't challenge. All the observers them, either Qatar Center or not, they not the release no police center and police station results because it is not in the law. So now what we look at now, this now a peaceful dialogue. Well, we get all the parties together and sit on a round table and resolve the issue.
Okay, like out you back, Oswald. Did they get me?
Yeah, they get you.
Welcome. So before we come to this discussion, we done so we go end with one way. We will begin where I don't know if the network normally you talk about that particular thing there. So, but basically the question will be, if you say the APC, because you get a lot of people and we want for commit what you call, you know, how you call them? Genocide. Yes.
They want kill we all.
Yes, now the Southeast. And the hierarchy, not Samoa Kama, not anybody, not do that. But the same kind of word them, you know, they come out from the SLPP, where you left here for going under because they want they are not the say anything about that. But equally, they say they do them thing, and in fact, then they put them into action. Then they bomb party office, then they beat people, then they drag people, and even as we talk so now, some people still not return yet because now they find some people that they area them. So why the question is why you choose for Guyana where then they do the same thing and Lefianda where then they do the same thing and you just not sit on middle?
Well, now you the talk say then they do the same thing. I don't think I will agree with you on that.
You not see none of the evidence them way then at the line now?
No, I don't see. Yes, some of them thing that we talk about are here. Some of them inflammatory talk. Then they.
So why you say na me they say so, not to me? Now waiting they happen.
No, now you don't add Panam bomb.
No, I'm not add anything. If you ask me one by one, I'm able to present to you all the evidence they are based on waiting I say.
Well, most of them thing then they, some of them extremes then they. Then come very late. Now, in reaction to the continual threats, they were not there from almost day one. We Madabio take over 2018. There was continual threats. Continual. It was unceasing, not a stop. It was dramatically different from where former president Anes Koroma take over in second term and when take over government 2007. This one, it was unrelenting, it not a stop. So it was when you get to a particular point in time now when threats they have in the camp. So some people then not the Southeast, well, you're not going to get away with it. If you come, we are going to be ready for you.
Okay, so fine. I love that word. If you come, we'll be ready for you. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If I say I beat you, then this person say I don't beat him. Who's why very much serious?
The question of I don't beat him, this one I don't tell you saying come very late. But now in reaction for so say, when I don't threaten we for so long. The August 10 don't come. When I don't show say what the potential don't they? So well, we are not going to sit down
so
and allow
August 10 now be against the Southeastern and them or against the government.
Well, no, it was. Let me put it this way: it was not against Southeasterners, but then the majority of the people who voted for the government has always been, not only this time around, has always been from the Southeast.
Also because of that, they react, the Southeastern and now they react to the August 10 because now they vote for the government.
Not because now they vote for the government. The electoral results have They've always been there from when they restored democracy in 1991 and going up 1996. It's always that. 99% in some of the southeastern district, an average of 90% will vote for the SLPP from the southeast. So when you attack SLPP government, that means implicitly for people of the southeast, you are also attacking them.
So
Especially
this
when
have been
you
the
use
question where
government.
I be one for each one to it. Good that you call them the SLPP government. Do we have SLPP government or we get government of Salone?
There is a Democratic Party government representing the United States. There is a Republican Party government at any time representing the United States. So, but when they're in government, they are for Sierra Leone, but then the party is the one that has brought about the government. And there's something where you keep on saying, Oswald, come on here in Kenya. I was in State House, and those who were there with me should have observed that I didn't write, when they elected Samora 2017, I didn't write a single article on Samora. I never went to his office. I never went to his house. So it is not to come out 2 months to the election where I come out publicly. I already didn't have any hope in Samora. I already don't disavow Samora as a leader. It was Ernest Koroma as a leader that I supported. It was Samora as a leader that I didn't support from 2017. Samora is, from all what I know, expert in finance, in economic issues. He served NPRC government, he served Tijan Kabay in government, he served Ernest Koroma in government. He's an expert in that area. But when it comes to the holistic area of governance, of politics, the man na baby, in sabi politics. You don't know what.
So now because of that, you don't support her.
Absolutely, a dangerous man. Then you go see even some of the things them way immediate talk. What would they go up on this election? This not baby talk there. Some of the things them way they open with mouth they talk. No person who sabi politics will do that, because you don't influence. Like where you go sit down among some young people there. The close way where they wear, na close way na be myself been getting na thing there, and the score man in between. I think engagement party or so. Then sit down among themselves and they talk, say, if you go to Kagbo, if you're not Kagbo, if you're not Kuruma, if you're not Kamara, you don't get job in this government. That's very inflammatory. That means what did they talk implicitly? Rise up, all of you who have these names, against these other people.
So but what did he say, a right or a wrong?
For an educated man with a doctorate degree.
Don't forget about being an educated man. What did he say? Based on the practical, a right or a wrong?
Even if it was right, which it's absolute incendiary from a leader of a political party for talk that. The question is that whether in right or wrong, has he done any survey on that? Has there been any credible institution that has done a survey to buttress the point we make? No. Now he just come up with that. So even if he say that, there is a way that make us in a picking from politics. Waiting I go talk where are they with 1 or 2 person them. It's dramatically different from what I go talk if you like what they would use so now, or they can't put camera up on me. And I go talk her. Because me now Oswald Hanses, me not famous columnist, and then you go talk something will go inflame people and passions. So he was too dangerous. He still is too dangerous.
So, but you say some of things there, but let me look back at the one way he writes that you get thrust on when I'm Marabio. He as well says some words them where they inflame people and minds them, right?
Well, you have not come out with a specificity on that.
Okay, let be specific. I don't tell you say anything where I talk. I know the talk because of me talking, and because of waiting come out of the original person. Marabio in Kailao. If, for example, say we not get enough police, so the people have to take care of themselves. It say that, and that we see the outcome of what they can with it.
Well, again, we don't forget the history of the country.
No, wait. Before we go to the history of the country, this is not a question where I ask you based on what you say. You hear that kind of statement there from Madabio?
It's likely. I cannot immediately recall that. But the point is that the history of the country is that the whole country imploded and scattered all things.
So this not the precedent where they talk about. You compare the precedent, possibly where they handle the power for say that kind of statement and they.
Can you give me an opportunity?
Yes, I do. I give you an opportunity, but based on what you say, I get for come inside and ask you questions. Sorry, go ahead.
No. So when you interrupt me in a law court, they say you are leading the audience. You're leading.
You correct, very correct. Because some of the things that I ask you say you not see yet. I make I lead you to them.
No. The point is that when I go back into history, in the context in which the president said those words, the history of this country is that I don't write them, and I write them, which are the talk so when I'm in the State House. The APC of Shaka Stephen waged a war on the Southeasterners. I was not a child, I was an adult, I was a teenager, and I was a young adult. Then they sent talks them to the Southeast for brutalize, for kill, for burn oaths of Southeasterners then in the 1970s, 1977 election. So that precedence is there in the minds of people.
So because of that presidency, the president gets right for telling people in that word?
You are interrupting me.
Yeah, we not get enough time, so I want to understand. It's like you teach me something I don't know. And the question again I will ask now, how that's relevant to what's happen right now?
Now, the relevance is that when the war was ignited in the Southeast, in Kailan, it concentrated in the Southeast. There was rape, there was looting, there was amputation, there was horrific murders in the Southeast. Now, when that took place, by 1994, the formal military could not defend the people. So the people had to mobilize to defend themselves. That's when arose the Kamajor movement, which was the leader in the civil defense forces. That means at a particular point in time, when the formal of the state, the police and the military could not defend the people, then the people had the precedence that they had needed to defend themselves.
Good. And now, based on what you don't talk so, you don't simply tell we say the president not able to handle the security of the country.
Now, what he was saying that in an event wherein the people had to see the need to defend themselves, because the military
in a government, in a democratic government, the president need for call the people. I think what you need to talk about, so also you get a civil defense force, not during war, no proper government not been there in place. But now we talk about a government. So if you recall on people and for take up security, it means that you need for take care of them.
Now, there was a government. There was the APC government in 1991. They were overthrown in 1992. There was the NPRC government between 1992 and 1996. But when the security...
You know who compare their latter days than they to now. Then it's in the way they happen then days to now.
The president was opening the people up to the option of violence being unleashed on them.
Okay.
And in that option, the security forces could not be spread thinly. How much soldier man they will get? They're not able to cover all this territory.
I worry right now based on waiting you self the say. David, like I'm with you inside. In the case of waiting where we are get from us for Oswald right now, that because of how many soldier and policemen we get, the president will open option to the people for defend themselves. It just they make reference to 1978, it make reference to 1992 after the NPRC, the later part of the APC, all of them things and they, so if the president, in my opinion, they call people in for take up security and defend themselves, it means they're not able to control the security of the state. What do you think?
Actually, I don't feel saying that right now, that part they forgo. This is not about war. Where you get way how you do handle issues where they threaten security in this country. The president in statement, if not that is say very unfortunate for tell the security apparatus for defend themselves. Very unfortunate statement. Because in a conflicting situation, because the president gets a background of now a peace ambassador.
Yeah.
So what do you expect from for make a statement wherein and they bring everybody together and resolve whatever differences they get. But another expect statement for come from the president for tell the security apparatus them for defend themselves. Like what happened August 10, not good for the peace of this country. Not good at all. Yes, the people can come out peacefully and protest. And then it reach at a particular point, the protest escalates to a particular point where it degenerates to a situation where the police themselves not be able to handle professionally. So we know they pray and hope for them kind of situations and therefore happen anymore because of we don't get experiences of war situation. And when we work in a country, we know the effect where it cause na the country. So as a right thinking Sierra Leonean, I expect say the whatever problem because the people up till now people are dissatisfied. People are angry based on the situations on the ground. The people are angry. So we expect the president for show leadership.
So
and
based
leadership
on the leadership where they call for so now, I listen to Oswald again. He say because the APC people and don't they send word against the Southeastern of them, don't they threaten them, they want to commit genocide. So now if you watch what thing happen, that the Southeastern of them they react to some of them worse than the way they come out from some of them people in there. And back up for waiting the president don't say, of course the police and the military cannot go there everywhere. So the people here for defend themselves.
Oh, that is not what we are expecting. Not for the same kind of situation than they would expect. We expect because the president is the father of the nation. It's not a leader of SLPP. It's the leader of Sierra Leone, as been declared by ECSL for his second term. So what would they expect? We expect them for unite the country. We need to expect them for divide the country based on tribal lines. So we expect the president for unite the country and bring everybody together, whosoever that is dissatisfied. And one thing where come to my mind, where if the president they listen to this program, what thing I be expect at this particular point in time, I be expect the president, like where the APC dissatisfied, I be expect the president for going to the APC party office or go meet Anescomana McKinney, talk to her, say this is the only country we have, Sierra Leone. Let us come together and unite this country. That's not leadership, and that for don't get that for don't hand the president.
After when they swear in, he don't call on the opposition for help our work. He don't call on the
no. That is not enough. That is not enough. That is not enough. We need a peace. We need a practical example of peace. The president gets a background of peace. Peace is not all about a word on mouth. It's about the practicality of it. If you want peace as a father of the nation, whatever don't happen in the past. Now you are the father of the nation. If you want to unite the country, call on the option. Come on, you office. Go na state house. Go na to an escoma. Go na party office. Ask. Waiting me don't happen during the eve of the announcement of the election result. Who that die? Take records. I go make. An escoma did the same thing in 2012. So now that will be the expect for the president display that kind of leadership. We need to expect for now that make APC they draw back because then they see some amount of hypocrisy. And when you want a peace as a father of the nation, especially when things won't don't then at the minds of the opposition, they try to bring them on board, talk to them. And Escoma go all out in 2012. President Bio was agreed. So with that, the same thing we expect for let President Bio show leadership and try for bring the opposition on board, continue to engage them in a peaceful dialogue, and let we unite this country and let progress and development within this country.
Also, kind side.
The slant of the talk, I don't like it. And the first instance, for 4 years, there was this threat of genocide on Southeasterners. For 4 years by the APC, there were agitation with
but Mr. Oswald, let's put the way forward.
Can I land, please? Yeah. Now, the issue is that the APC, the moral leaders, Islamic leaders, educational leaders, Christian leaders, they've been for them with equal vehemence, condemn them when the word is talk them genocidal talk threats and they're not doing.
And that also should happen with the SLPP.
No,
SLPP said for condemn. No, for they make their statements they make.
No, absolutely, I agree with you. Now, when you talk about the way forward within the happen at Parliament, me on appeal to the Speaker is not for rush for take any action against the APC for making the Naguna Parliament. No, that should not be rushed into. All the religious leaders, educational leaders, social leaders, political leaders, they all should be involved in series of meetings, not one meetings. The SLPP, within the governing party, and even the international community, they have to go district by district for go talk to the people them, and then we'll begin for look, now opportunity for us for turn the spotlight on Parliament. I don't write something about that. Now, waiting Parliament and don't do since 1996. I can say categorically, if I can put a figure on it, Parliament now operates at even 10% of their capacity. They have not been able to represent their people them the way they're supposed to represent them people them. Baku of the parliamentarians them, what they elect them, they even more not in constituency, move them residents not in constituency. Some of them, what they elect them, now free to them or they sit down. Then they go meet them people them. they provide leadership for them people them. That is one. The people that not even know say oversight. Now they're supposed for the watch NRA. SLRA, then government institution, then for know whether they manage the institution them well, for know whether they money. 98% of the time the Parliament and not they do that. Then they overburden the Anti-Corruption Commission. That me know, and I will talk which Parliament, but me know say. Me have been Assistant Commissioner of the National Revenue Authority 2003 to 2011. Me know say some parliamentarians them when they head the Finance Committee, when they supposed for they go watch NRA, and I mean they go there. They seem for do some deal business with the NRA commissioners there. No parliamentarian, I can hardly remember over the past successive parliament, other one parliament from 1996, where they don't call one head of MDA. It happened one time, I think, between 1998 and 1996, when the Siratel management was called by Parliament, and then put pressure on them for alleged corruption. Then one Usman Kamara, then been PDP Sobe, then go against Stimap strong one will must investigate this corruption. After some time, the parliamentarians then gang up against Usman Kamara, against him for the obvious corruption we in one try for make Parliament investigate. Look who side Sarah done now, completely moribund. Now the parliamentarian, now anybody tell me who side they don't do that from 2002, 2007, right up to the president, to the present. whose side they don't do anything over focus, man. The parliamentarian, they don't work for now. What if we begin for Allah? Will they go parliament? Will not they go parliament? Will not they go parliament? What will not be the strategy? What will not do? Also, they wonder, yeah. But the presidents of the parliamentarians and before, they are not working. This kush business now is now going to be a pandemic in the country. Not a new thing. Before kush, they may get brown, they may get other narcotic drugs. What did the previous parliament do? What did they do about school dropouts and constituencies, about teenage pregnancies? What did the parliament do? I don't even know whether they've made it into law. A very profound issue. A local content policy brought about by the APC government. That means, say, when government want give contract for produce chair, for make bid them, anything in for gear to salon company, or in forget to salon professionals them. Now, only when salon company are able to do the work, they go give foreigners them. And let them airport and bridges, according to the local content policy, if they may not make it into law, then for make sure say Sierra Leone engineering company, then for get shares in whatever foreign company they can. What in Parliament don't do about that?
If I can go back, because I think when we begin something, we able to get a way forward to a particular thing. We will talk about something very important right now, and then they create the biggest problem right now in the country. We're basically now the issue of this divided nation, you know. And as it is now, we're not able to forget any leader we don't ready for stand up for let we get the country come back together. And before this time, we don't hear, for example, the president we don't tell we say the country has already been divided. Before this time, we don't divide. So the way forward, what you wanna feel say we for do for get people in together rather than for the defend and say that they commit the genocide and that they defend themselves. That could be the way waiting at the way forward of this.
You work on some premise which is false. I mean, the best president is trying to unite the nation and trying to unite the nation.
Oh, wait. Which one are the false we are saying?
Now you said nobody is there to try to unite the nation, and that is not true. This
I don't say United Nation.
So it's that said your premise.
You said the president is ready to unite the nation.
Your premise was that nobody.
We already the president talk this one, and Mr. Ansels. I know they talk anything because I want for talk and I want for make false allegation. The president we don't tell we now a public broadcaster tell we say the country has already been divided along this line. So now we want to see the way forward. What do you think say the leaders then for do for make sure say the people can come together not only by words but in action?
That is a flawed premise. What the president said, Joe Biden is often mocked for what they call a faux pas and a slip of tongue.
Wait.
The issue,
I think you need to say something. I think you don't really understand what I'm saying.
You not the way forward there.
Yes, the way forward.
So wait, first of all, before we go to the way forward, you say me still make false premise. This now what the president say the country be already divided.
Once off slip of tongue.
Not a slip of tongue. It mean now. This time talk about.
No.
What you make the president establish the peace commission?
Yes. Now, the issue is that the president, by policy them for unite the country, don't bring significant number of northern people them on the other side entering government before the election and now after.
So
the
you
election.
think saying that the way that they for make people and they together for bring people from one party to another?
No, that is not the only way. What I advise very strongly is that, which I have been writing about, there should be we go around the country. We make sure, say, we get very tough law against corruption. So that, for example, now the law against corruption, if they carry you go, then prosecute you, then convict you, 5 years imprisonment, or 50 million old leons, then they fine you. I don't say that's not laughable law. Then for making 25 years imprisonment. Then for making the mandatory for good 10 years imprisonment. Now, the issue is that the whole politics all they talk about Oh, they fool the people them. Now, if less than 1% of the political class, they fight for Gona State House, so they go thief money. So if we get to the people, them stand up, stand up, stand up and support new anti-corruption law. It's not a question of going to APC leaders, going to SLP leaders. Well, now we agree for thief and shame money. No, now for go out and fight for the people.
So you think saying that they bring the people in together?
The people, when you say the people by themselves, 98% of the people have been victims of the political system. Then they suffer because a few leaders by the two political party then they play their game. Now to unite the people, there's a difference between uniting the political leadership and uniting the people.
No, I know they talk about the leaders, and they talk about the people. Waiting for bring them together.
The people must be them for come together for make tough anti-corruption laws. Now that the people them for come together.
So how the people for come together for do that if they're not there together?
Now for go out and meet them.
Waiting for let them come together.
No, the pastors and the imams should be inspired.
So how they would inspire when most of them don't take sides already?
Well, if the political and moral leadership cannot come together, then some group of Sierra Leoneans should come together and get to the people directly.
I remember the last time I interviewed you, when you specifically come say, this government or the last government or the people need for stand up against them. But in the next interview I get with you, you tell me, say, no, the people are not need for camp because this government, they actually then at the right direction.
To stand up against a particular government means to stand up against some of the ideas of that government, not the government in its entirety. Okay. Because somebody has to be in government. If somebody is not in government, then there is anarchy. Right. Even when the RAF, they control the territory, the RAF will be the government at that territory in that point in time.
Thank you.
So the issue where the people must come together on now is for the people must come together for tough laws against corruption, tough laws against mismanagement by the government agency there. That's what the people must come together about.
So, David, please, as a way for your own roundup word, what do you think say could be the way forward with all of this thing? How the people for come together, how forget the people and avoid this genocide way Oswald they talk about? How for bring them together?
Yeah, we get for reach out to them because the people then get their own concerns, they get their own in the border in their minds. We get for reach out to them and know whatever that is affecting their life, waiting the need, waiting the need and waiting for we will come together as one. That's number one. Then secondly, who that for reach to the people? That's question we get for ask we say. Who that get for reach? We get trusted people. Trusted people them we no get political lineage. We no get no political lineage where the people then trust. Because now, as it is now, the people they not trust no majority of the one the way they purport themselves as a peacemaker for go broker peace between the APC and the SLPP. Because the two factions, the APC and the SLPP, now did the problem there. So wait till we get for bringing independent players on board. We get for bringing people with integrity. We get for bringing people that will not get no political lineage on board for let them reach out to the people and explain.
So how we could get that in the way most of them don't they don't take the back seat and then say they're not mixed.
Well, we get for keep on talking to them. That is why we get for continue for the talk to them. But let me tell you, if we want peace, now the government of Sierra Leone, the SLPP government get for take the lead. If really they want peace for reign, na this country. Now then get for take the lead. Because upon all waiting to happen at the country prior to the election and up to date, the SLPP get for take a lead for main fences with the APC. If they take the lead for main fences, definitely we achieve the peace we they yearn for. But if they stay back, then they pull statements, they say, we're not ready for peace, we know this, the supporters, then they use other statements, then. So the peace they yearn for, we're not going to achieve them. So then therefore take the lead and come out openly. The president need for come out, not only by words, he need for come out practically demonstrate and say, yes, this is the only solution we have. Let us come together. Irrespective of all what have happened in the election, let us come together and move and unite Sierra Leone. So now that we expect. And the players on board, and therefore be mindful, therefore be careful, especially the Interreligious Council. Some members of the Interreligious Council, because some of them, they already label them, say things them they will be the apple, then be keep silly over that. Why now? Then for come. So and then therefore be careful, because in conflict, where you resolve conflict, you don't get for look at the surface. You get for look at the root causes. All the root causes where they cause this problem in this country, where they cause this conflict in this country. Then therefore make sure they address everything before ever. If they not address the root causes of the conflict, then we know they achieve peace. So at the call on the government, let the government take a lead. Let the president himself take the lead. Call and endorse open for peace, as long as at the sake of the peace of this country. And doors always open for that. Doing a big, yes, the statements where he make a statement of peace. So I expect this particular time around for let President Bio swallow an ego, reach out to former President Kuma and bring him on board for let them unite this country, let peace go reign.
All right, thank you very much. Oswald, before we go, I want to give 2 minutes extra.
Now, I agree with the spirit of what they talk. The SLPP has to take the lead. But me on warning to me on party leader, me on bond brother, is that don't take the lead to bring about peace like the way we Shaka Stephen did bring about peace. It's the idea.
Sorry, I beg, yeah. I want to understand all three the talk. How Shaka Stephen been bring peace, so we go understand what he talk.
What did Shaka Stephen been do in wage war on the Southeasterners then, in coerce the people and form a one-party state. We don't form a one-party state in 1978, and then bring the SLPP leaders then and give them positions. So by 1978 going on to 1980, there was a one-party. So there was a semblance of peace. No SLPP, no APC, all man come, all man chop. All man become engaged in corruption. So in the 1980s, the whole country, the economy collapsed. Now, when you talk about you have been intimidated, you have been terrorized by certain APC leaders, where some of them sometimes afraid and afraid and get big anti-corruption case over there. You know, thief $10 million, $20 million, so that they intimidate you and say, if you not pull nothing over we head, we go agitate this country, pass you pull over we head. Then you bring some of the people then where you now vet it into government, because they say that I said APC, you want unity. You bring the same people then where their own experience, like for thief, you bring them into government, then they repeat the mistake of Shaka Stephen. The other side of that, now we take what they talk about, so what the people they need. The people, they're not ordinary woman within a Sania Bacha Street, within a Pujan with a farm, now food he wants. What are we going to do about the food problem? What did they happen inside the agricultural ministry? The agricultural ministry, like in been structure over the past 5 years, like in been structure over the past 15 years, is completely rotten. It is not designed to produce food. It is designed to be corrupt and enrich a few people there. So let's wage a war on that as an example of that ministry, so that the people will get food. And then you tell the people and say, can join we, Mende, Timni, Loco, Shabro, can join we so that we go wage war and then bureaucrats the year so that we will give enough food. That is the sort of unity we need, not unity for trying to, they call it appeasement. Because you don't agitate, you don't say you know to go parliament, you don't tell people that to demonstrate, so we can appease you. Like what Tijan Kabago in appease for the Sanko. And what does Sanko do? And we want come and overthrow for the Sanko. Like we in a civil society, then grab, May 8, or draft for the Sanko. So appeasement, not the world. So I want unity. I want the people to be in the forefront of this unity, not political leaders who don't fail. All the presidents say they don't fail for providing leadership.
So who don't know them people here now? Where most of them now they kind into politics. Most of them now don't they work for support certain political party behind the scene. Now with the student they come up name by name. Who don't know them in just 1 minute?
But then they baku, then get people them way patriotic, way neutral, way not fanatic. Even if they support one party, but they are not fanatic.
Right.
When me know some of them people and they not the.
So call for we tribal, we see them.
No, I know they call names. That you won't put me into.
Thank you very
much. I know them, not the APC.
Well, thank you very much.
They are decent people. If you want to call Kefala Mara.
No, I know I tell you call it. You say in a call, so not calling you. Thank you very much for joining inside the program. You know, the Pan-Africanist. So whose position now when you go for inside the SLPP?
Which position want to go for?
David, you know go. Yes, also whose position?
And I mean the provoke.
No, whose position you want to go inside for inside the SLPP?
Wait, why you not ask me? Which position will you be not get inside the SLPP?
No, if you don't tell me before, I just want to know now because you know I'm not like follow the chemical BN. I want now.
Now, well, if my bonds brother say also can serve the country now, yeah. Like who meet him, the brother they say can serve the country. Agree. When they say can serve country, agree. So if the bonds brother say can serve, I agree. Hey, what you do? Bad.
So any side where they put you ready for serve.
Now I get the end by the case.
But if it happen now, say they're not calling for serve, what will be your next action?
I want secret with some the APC brother them. They blast me while I resigned just about 2 months to the election. Already they serve this government in this particular capacity. I just don't publicize it. So I already did. I already did inside this government.
Let's begin campaign to you there. When they give power tomorrow, whether a minister or a director now, anyone, they are not forget we you plant kaya, now for the kaya still.
You want to do propaganda, we?
Okay, David, you see her now? They not get in position yet.
Yes.
They not get yet, so don't begin to do propaganda. But wait, I mean you forget opposing voice and Oswald, and you for supporting opposing voice because you want to be opposing voice.
No. Seriously, I am more into Pan-African issues, man-made climate change. This is a global issue. There is a war going on with man and the effects power, intensification of the war, man-made climate change mean. I aim to go more into that. All the local politics is a distraction.
Good. And interestingly, Marabio just don't give kind of that kind of position in this. So I think side the way you go able for work for learn build something together.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Because, you know, I hope we'll
no,
find time.
I make special appeal for you. David, you say, this is a Pan-Africanist, and in the same way, so get interest from work on the climate change. Of course, not only the chairman right now for climate change and environment and something. So, of course, and maybe we can all campaign for her now. Lay Ian and Kande go to work together and see what things happen. But we don't begin telling about propaganda, so not avoid will.
No. You. There's certain things. Them way words are very careful. I don't need to be given a government job to work on climate change. I start my own organization, climate change, in Liberia and Nigeria, got international contracts 40 years ago. I don't need a government position to do that. I will continue to do that. I just need space in my country.
Poppy, I still dey down with you.
No, don't worry. I'm a peacemaker. That's why I can work with any government. I worked with the previous government. I promoted some of the ideals and policies of the former government. Even when they blast me now, they blast me in social media. And they talk me nice things, the fond memories of the former president. One thing where I can always talk. I said, don't you notice something? Almost every article where I write when I was media advisor to former President Nkrumah at State House. When me party with the America, when I've been cabinet minister in Liberia, I said, if you didn't have power, why did you write that? I said, well, that's a fact. I was serving the state, and I was proud of that position. So if a government comes in, don't forget, I don't tell you, I already served this government in this particular sensitive area. So it's not as if I'm going to be given. I have been given something over the past 3 years. But the important point, don't forget, the climate change emergency should not be clouded with local politics. That one impacts all the other.
Poppy, we can't go. We don't go over the time. I want to ask you this last question. Now you don't love this greenback. So where the red one we been get? You don't know where?
I joined the APC for less than 5 years.
No. The polo, the red polo we been get. You don't know where?
You want her?
No, I don't answer. Just ask them more.
Well, you want me to sell and this or APC man there?
Well, maybe.
Well, I'll consider that.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your time with me inside the program today. Oswald Ansels, when I freelancer, the man when you use a pen and if you use a mouth as well for analyze things them. Anyway, as well, get David Johnson from Voice of Salon. Thank you very much, guys, for wanna join me inside the program.
Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate you so much. The producer for this program, na Elias Abba. We now actually they organize the guest them for we serious one for make sure say you get the guest them for we. And so you don't watch the program, you don't like, you don't subscribe, and you don't share. Thank you very much. We appreciate you all. Until we meet again in another edition, for say God bless we country Sierra Leone, where we call we are. Until then, we love you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help